Hello students. So yesterday we have studied about the contraction and relaxation that is occur in the muscles. So we studied that how muscles are responsible for contracting and for how it help in relaxing the body, including that of the biceps and triceps which is present at the two sides of the arms. Okay, so what happened when a biceps contract? At that time, the triceps they relax, they become long and thin, and when the triceps contract, at that time the biceps they relax, become long and thin. Later on, we studied about the movement in the animals also, that how the flexion and extension, these two process help a human being to move forward. Or what happened when we move? We used to push the ground, and the ground will also exert an equal amount of a force, and due to which we are able to move forward. Okay, and the same thing it happened with the animals also. So we have started that of the movement which occurred in the cockroach, and we studied that this cockroach is having a protecting covering around its body, over its body, and that is known as exoskeleton. So the role of the exoskeleton, it help in protecting the internal organs of the body. Okay, later on we will discuss today that how the wings and the legs, these both help in the movement of the cockroach. Now when we talk about the cockroach, a cockroach is having 6 legs. Okay, it is having 6 legs, in which 3 legs are on the each side. Okay, as well as these legs help the cockroach to move on the ground. Okay, so they helpful in crawling, they help in moving that of the cockroach on the ground. Now each leg of the cockroach, it consisting of a stiff. That stiff is there, as well as the legs are hollow, and as well as a tube like structure which are joined together. So these legs they are hollow, as well as they are hollow tubes, as well as stiff, which are joined together. Legs of the cockroach, it can be moved easily by the help of the muscles. So these legs are basically attached with the muscles, and the muscles of the legs help it to move its place. Okay, the muscles which move the legs of the cockroach are attached to the inside of the exoskeleton. So this is the exoskeleton, student, and inside to that of the exoskeleton, the muscles of the legs are present. Okay, it is present inside it, and due to which this cockroach is able to move. So muscle which is present inside the body, inside this skeleton, this outer skeleton is known as the exoskeleton. So inside the skeleton, the legs of the muscles are present, and which is responsible for the movement of the cockroach. Now when we were talking about the movement of the body of a human body, then we studied about the flexor and extensor. Flexor muscle was what which occur, or which help in the bending of the legs. Okay, and extension muscle works when we straighten our legs. Okay, so the same thing as in case of the human body, the same thing happened with the cockroach also. It is also having a two kind of a muscles in it, that is flexor muscle, okay, and extensor. So flexor muscle works or it help in bending the legs, where extension, the name is extension. What does that mean? That it help in extension, it help in straighten the thing. Okay, so these extension muscles, they help in straighten the legs, and by this these two muscles, flexor and that of the extensor, this cockroach is able to move, able to walk. Instead of these legs, there are two pair of wings are also present. You can see here the wings are, right now it is present above. So two wings are also present in the cockroach, which is attached to its chest position, which we can say which is attached to its breast by flight muscles. Okay, so it is basically attached at flight muscles. Now student, what is the meaning of flight? Flight is to run. Okay, so here when we talk about flight muscles, means the muscles which help the insect to fly. Okay, so that's why the term is written as flight muscle. Okay, so cockroach is also having a two pair of wings which is attached to the breast by the help of a flight muscles. And the cockroach, it also flies in the air by using the wings which is present in that of the breast with the help of flight muscles. Okay, so basically the role of the legs in that of the cockroach is to make it crawl, is to make it move on the ground, and the function of the this wing which is present on over its exoskeleton, and it help in flying the cockroach in air. So what happened when a cockroach flight? Okay, so with the help of a flight muscles, it flies in the air. So when the wings of the cockroach moves downward, they push on air downward and backward. So what happened basically when this wings, it pushes that of the air downward direction like this. Okay, so if it is pushing the air in the downward direction as well as in the backward, because yesterday we have studied that if suppose we want to walk, what you have to do for the movement, we have to push the thing backward, and due to which the ground makes us to move forward. And the same thing occur with that of the birds or the organisms which are able to fly. Okay, so when they fly, when they push the air downward and backward, only then the downward push on the air, it lift the organisms in the forward direction. Okay, the same thing happened with the cockroach. When the wings of the cockroach, it moves down and backward, then this downward push on the air, it lifts the cockroach up into air, and the backward push on the air makes it move forward. Okay, so when it push the air downward, this downward make it upward. When it push the air backward, this backward push just opposite it, it works opposite to that, and it will make cockroach to move forward. It is very similar to that of the movement in the leg, students, that we have studied, that if suppose when we push our legs on the ground, then ground will also push the same amount of a force, and due to which in the opposite direction, and due to which our body, it moves forward. Here also, when we push when a cockroach push air downward, the air works as an opposite force, and it will makes a cockroach to lift upward. And when the cockroach it moves the air backward, the backward air push it to that of the forward. Okay, so it is working just opposite to each other, due to which organism move. Okay, And after making the downstroke of the wing, when we talk about the downstroke, what does that mean? Pushing the air in the downward direction, that is the downstroke of wing. Okay, so after making the downstroke of wing, the cockroach, it raises its wing up and again and then make another downstroke, and this keeps the cockroach flying. So when as it started flying, at first it used to lift the its wings in the downward direction, and due to which the air lift it in the upward direction, and again it goes up and do the same thing by pushing the air in the downward and backward, and air it make it in a upward and in forward direction, due to which a cockroach keeps flying. Okay students, so this is the movement in the cockroach, how the wings are important for them to fly, how it works, how when it apply a force on that of the downward, how it help it to move in a forward direction, as well as what is the role of the legs present in the cockroach. Okay. Now we will talk about the movement in birds. So you see student, there are a lot of birds like that of the sparrow or a crow, pigeon, eagle, parrot, peacock, duck is there which is present in that of the water. So these all are birds, and some of the birds are there which walk on ground, and some of them they also fly in air, while some of the birds are there they used to swim in the water, including that of the duck and swan. Now the birds they are having the different habitat due to their different adaptation. Okay, so a bird is not having that strong wing, having a heavy body, due to which the bird is not able to fly, it only walk on the ground. There are some bird which is having a hollow bone, or which is having a lighter bone, due to which that bird is able to fly in the air. As well as there are some birds which also swim in the water. Okay, because they are having the adaptation or they are adapted to live in the water also. Now you see in the picture, this is the forelimb and this is the hind limb of the bird. Okay, this is the forelimb and this is the hind limb. So the bird which walk on the ground by using their hind limbs, okay, hind limbs, and when they used to stand, like you see in the penguins also, these are the birds, when they stand they are able to walk on the ground just because of the help of this hind limb. So a bird also, a normal bird also, if it walk on the ground, it used to walk with the help of their hind limbs. The birds which swim in the water, they are able to do so by pushing them against water with their hind limbs, which have a webbed feet. I think you are all knowing about the duck. Duck is having the webbed feet. Webbed. The meaning of the webbed is webbed, it means which is having the web like a structure. Web, you know, jala, makri ki jal, like that. Okay, so webbed feet, it is having a webbed feet, that of the duck or the birds which live in the water. So this, they are able to swim in water just because of their feet. That webbed feet help them in swimming in water. So what they used to do, they used to push the water against with their hand, with their hind limbs. Okay, and due to which they are able to move forward. Okay, so they push against, they push their body against water, and which is due to which this webbed feet, with the help of that webbed feet, and due to which they are able to move forward. So here also you can see that backward force is applying by that of the duck, due to which they are able to move forward. Okay. Now we will talk about the another thing, and that is the adaptation for the bird adaptation. So you know, student, that the bird can fly. Okay, they are able to fly, and it is because their bodies are adapted for their purpose. Okay, they are having such kind of a body due to which they are able to fly. Okay, so what are the different adaptation which a bird have, or which a body of a bird is having by nature, which makes it enable to fly? So you see here, student, the first and foremost is that their forelimbs are modified to form wings for flying. Right now I had shown you one thing to you people, and that is the forelimbs. These are the forelimbs, and this forelimbs is indicated to the wings of the bird. So you see here these forelimbs. What are the forelimbs of the human? That is our hand. Okay, so the forelimbs which is present in the birds, they are basically modified to form wings. So they are modified into wings, and these wings help in flying in the air. Okay, while the other animals, you know, that forelimb help them to walk on the ground. The second one is the feathers. Okay, so the flight feathers, they are having feathers which provide a large flat surface, and which is light, but then also it is strong. Okay, so they are having that of the feathers, and they help it to fly. Okay, and why is it so? Because these feathers, they are light, and due to which they are able to fly in the air, even though they are having the light bones, but that bones are light but supposed to be very strong. The bones which is present in that of the bird, they are hollow. Hollow, what is the meaning of a hollow, student? You can see here, this is the a bone of a bird. So you can see here there are some space between them. So we can say when a bone is having, or any of the object is having space in between them, that is known as a hollow. So the bones, they are hollow, they are having space in it, and due to which they are supposed to be light. We can also say that they are having air cavities in it. Okay, so the bones are hollow, and because of that they are light, and due to which the birds, they are able to fly. The birds, they are having a streamlined body shape. When we talk about the streamline in a very simple language, you understand streamline body, it means a boat like a body. Have you seen the boat? The structure of the boat is like this. Okay, so this boat like a structure, this cone shaped structure, we call it a streamlined body. So this streamlined body is used by that of the bird, because it will reduces the force which is applied by the air, or the resistance which is applied by the air. So when a bird move, the opposing air, if it is moving in a particular direction, the air which is moving in the opposite direction will try to hamper the speed of the bird, or it will try to make the bird not to fly. So the bird should have such kind of a body, due to which it is able to cut the air and fly easily. The same thing happened with the boat also. You know, student, the structure is like that. So that body, streamlined body, help in cutting the water, and because of that the boat is easily can easily move in the water. So the bodies, they are streamlined, and the bodies are because of the streamline, they are extremely light. Their flight muscles, right now we have studied about the flight muscles. So these flight muscles which help in flying, they are very powerful. Okay, so they are having a flight muscles, and that flight muscles are very powerful, due to which a bird can fly. Their breastbone is extended for attachment of a large flight muscles. Okay, right now we were studying in the cockroach that the legs are attached to the breastbone, and which is present in the exoskeleton, and these legs are attached in the breastbone by the help of a flight muscles. The same thing here, the breastbone, it is extended. It means it get as you can see in kneel. Okay, these bones, they are expanded or extended so that a large flight muscles is attached to it, and these help in making the wings up and down. So the breastbone are responsible for the attachment of the flight muscles, and because of that a bird is able to flap its wing. It means it is able to move the wings up and down. So these are some of the main adaptation by which the body of the bird can fly. Now if you see student, in birds the muscles which are there for flying, it acts as a wing, it acts on the wing. So muscles acts on the wing, and how one pair of the muscles, it pulls the wing down, and the other pair of a muscle, it pulls the wing up. Okay, so when a bird, it moves, it wings down. At first it wings down. It is because of the muscles, it makes the wings to move down, and when the wings move down, we use a term, and that is down stroke. Okay, while when the bird it moves their wings up, then we call it a up stroke. Okay, so by moving, we called it, when a bird moves wing down, we use the term that is downstroke. When the bird moves their wing up, we use the term that is upstroke. Now the bird, they move their wings up and down quickly, means this downstroke and upstroke is continuously occurring. Okay, so they move their wings up and down by the rapid contraction and relaxation of their flight muscles. You know that the flight muscles are responsible for the movement of the wings of the birds. So it is because of the flight muscles, the contraction and relaxation of the flight muscles occur, and due to which the bird is move their wings up and down. So how this flies occur, how a bird actually flies, student? So you see, the bird, by a constant flapping, when we use the term flap, it means downstroke and upstroke, up and down movement of the wing, that is known as flapping. So you see, the bird, while moving, while flying, they continuously flap their wings. Okay, so what happened during the downstroke? This is the downstroke, student. The raised wing, this is the raised wing of a bird, it goes down as well as back. Okay, and when the wings go down, they push the air down, and the air pushes up the wing with the equal force, which make the bird go up. Okay, so you see here in the downstroke, this is the wing. At the first, wing was at the upward, it was upside. finally when it start moving down, the air which is present here, it is forced to it is pushed by that of the wings down, as well as this air pushes not only down but in the backward direction, and due to which the air which is pushed up downward and backward make the wings to move in the upward direction again. Okay, not upward but in the forward direction too. Now when we talk about the other one, that is the backward movement of the wings. So when the backward movement of the wings, it pushes the air in the backward direction, the air pushes the wings in the forward direction, and it makes the bird move forward. So we can say here, when it flap the wing at first, when it make the wings to move in the downward direction, at that time the air pushes it to move in the upward direction, and due to which the bird it goes up. And when the wings help in, or it moves, or it pushes the wings pushes the air to move in the backward direction, the air will also with an equal force it pushes the wings in the forward direction. Okay, and due to which the bird move forward. So we can understand this by that whenever a body is moving, whether it's a bird or it's a human being, whatever the force is applied by us, our legs or by our wings in the downward direction, either on the ground, in the water or in the air. Okay, so if we are applying a force on the air will also apply the equal force. So if the bird is applying the force on the air, it pushes the air in the downward direction, the air will also push the bird wings in the upward direction, and due to which the bird is able to move up, it able to go up. Now when the bird wings is moving the air in the backward direction, when it pushes the air in the backward direction, that air which is in the backward, which is going to the backward, it also pushes the wings in the forward direction, just opposite to that. Okay, and due to which the bird is able to move forward. So by this, because of downstroke and upstroke, the bird is able to move in the upward and in the forward direction. So during the downstroke of the wing, the air is pushed downward and backward, and the equal opposite reaction force of air pushes the bird up and forward, and this process help the birds to move properly, or it helps the birds to move in that of air. Now see student, after making the downstroke, the wings must go back to their starting position, and during the upstroke the bird brings its wings from the lowermost position to the uppermost position, so that they may repeat the downstroke to keep flying. Okay, so the process of the downstroke, as it occurs in the wings, it goes up in the upward direction, and finally it pushes it in the downward direction. So here it is the downstroke, and what happened after that, an upward force is acting by the air. So we can say that because of this air, the upward stroke also occur in the feathers of the bird. Okay, so these first of all downstroke is occurring, and then upstroke is occurring, and this downstroke and upstroke is responsible for the movement, and in a very easy way we called it the flapping of the wings. So basically the flapping is responsible for the upward and the downward movement of the air, and due to which a bird can fly easily in the air. Here one question is also there student, that while performing the downstroke movement, As you can see here, the bird, it used to the wings were in the upward direction, and it used to move its wings in the lower position, okay, as it used to push the air in the downward direction, due to which it moves in the upward direction. What happened when the upstroke occur? In the upstroke, they used to move their wings from the lowermost position to that of the uppermost position. Okay, so they have to repeat the downstroke. Okay, so for the upstroke, because you see at the last stage of the downstroke, the bird wings are at the lowermost position. So now the bird have to move the wings in the upward direction. Okay, so while doing so, while bringing the wings up during that of the upstroke, the bird, they partially fold its wing. They partially fold its wings so that the effect of the air is reduced. Okay, because you know that as it start moving its wing in the upward direction, then it use the air which is present above it, now it is pushing that air in the upward direction, so the air will also push it in the downward direction. That's why they used to fold their wings, so that the air which is acting on the bird, the effect will get reduced, and they can fly at a certain height, or they will fly in the air properly. Okay, so this is the reason the downstroke and that of the upstroke. Okay, so while the downstroke, they used to push the air, but in the upstroke, when the wings goes up, the bird, they fold their wings so that the effect of the air which is acting on it will get reduced. Okay, student, so this is the movement occurring in that of the birds.